Why, hello there. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Tarot Nook with Jay. Here I am with your weekly reading. Already, this entire week went by so fast. We're in May. All right, this is going to be May 3rd to the 10th. May overall is going to be full of so much movement, so many new beginnings. And these new beginnings are new beginnings in regards to the way that you really look at yourself. We're confident. May is bringing on confidence, it's bringing on drive, it's bringing on bravery, it's bringing on love, it's bringing on creativity, it's bringing on prosperity, abundance. Like May is that month because we just opened May with the flower moon, a full moon in Scorpio. All right. If we all know Scorpios, they're a little secretive, but that's because they're ultimately very private, right? But they are incredibly loyal. Scorpios, they're when it comes to loving others, they are by their loved one's side the entire way through. There's no question yet. Scorpios are very intuitive. All right. Now take in mind this Scorpio energy, all right, is facing in the a flower moon, a full moon. A full moon is the completion of a cycle. So what this says is ultimately we've come to the completion of feeling insecure. We've come to the completion of feeling less than, feeling as if the cup is half empty as opposed to half full. We are looking at life but through a completely different set of lens, my friends, and it's in this new way of being. It's in this really awakening. It's in this awakening and in this enlightenment, my friends, that we're bringing in all of these blessings. May is going to be full of blessings. Why? Because you're matching the energy that the universe is looking for you to match. All right. It's the kind of energy, my friends. This energy is full of so much momentum. What you've always wanted, what you've always craved already belongs to you, but this is when it starts showing up. All right. If you haven't seen it yet, you are about to see it. The crystal of the week, all right, is going to be pyrite. All right, pyrite is also known as fool's gold. All right, if you go to a crystal shop, you could just get like a small little cluster of pyrite. It's shiny and gold. Beautiful crystal that brings on prosperity. That brings in a lot of prosperity. If you're looking to manifest any kind of like, value, either in maybe you're looking for a deeper level of value when it comes to maybe some kind of relationship with others or yourself, or you're just looking to manifest money. If you're looking to bring on a new job, if you're looking to bring on a promotion, like it's the kind of situation that the crystal pyrite is a very powerful, powerful manifester. All right. So spirit is ultimately saying if you have fool's gold, you could work with that. But if you have pyrite, you can get it at any crystal shop. And it's really not expensive at all. Like I think like a cluster you can get it for like $4 just to carry it around with you. Like I mean like just to have all of these different temples, right? Here I have citrine, right? I have blue lace agate. Like I have so many tumbles because you don't need a huge crystal to ultimately receive the energy that it supplies. There's rose quartz. It's a kind of energy that pyrite carries, which is full of nothing but abundance and all of the above. Okay. Now, in regards to this week is going to be a week of empowerment. All right. We just ultimately moved past that flower moon. The flower moon represents new growth. All right. In between, by the way, the end of May, there's the blue moon. All right. May 31st, I believe. And that's a full moon. So this month is very, very, very powerful also because there's two full moons. Okay. So the energy in between is full of nothing but prosperity and movement. All right. Let's see exactly what we need to know in regards to this upcoming week. Spirit, please get some cards. Sorry, I feel a little nasally. Oh my gosh, I just ate. So, right here, immediately, we got the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. What is that saying? We have made a decision. All right, this decision, I feel as if we've already made it. It's already Sunday. Like this decision, I feel as if we made today. All right, to start off the week, we made a decision to ultimately say, you know what? Here we go. And you're starting to ultimately take action based upon what that decision was. The Two of Swords is a little bit of confusion, but it's the kind of situation like the Two of Swords asks you, you know, with the balance that you've acquired to make the decision that may be a little confusing, but the decision that's right for you. And I feel as if the Two of Swords like is a very powerful card because it's in this decision, this decision of faith, having faith in whatever decision you just made. It's in this decision that is really catapulting us, you know, even further on a pathway of our destiny. My friends, like the message I got this morning, all right, the intuitive message I got this morning is we are in our fairy tale energy. The things that we've always wanted, we're in that energy. Just because we haven't seen it yet does not mean it's not there. All right, this week is when it's going to show. Why? Because we made the decision to allow it to. All right. If you're thinking, did I make the right decision? This is confirmation that yes, you did, because the Two of Wands is all about packing for a trip. All right. It's almost kind of like, should I go on vacation or should I not? Should I go on this cruise or should I have a staycation? It's like all of a sudden you decided to book the cruise and now you're getting your bags packed. That's the energy. I'm hearing get excited because with the Six of Swords, that is movement. That is movement. Having rose above the conflict, having rose above the confusion, we are starting to see movement. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, the train, the cruise has ultimately taken off, and all of a sudden we're starting to feel the power of that cruise ship. It's a kind of situation, my friends. Where are we going in the direction of prosperity? Okay. When you trust yourself, when you truly listen to your heart, not just your mind, not just your intellect, when you listen to your heart. All right. Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. All right. I like listen to your heart. It's a kind of situation like, what feels true. All right. Life is not just about intellect. It's about allowing yourself to listen to your heart. What will make you happy? We made a decision to ultimately bring us forward on that pathway towards complete happiness. And that journey is starting this week. All right. We're in this fairy tale energy. Here's the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is ultimate prosperity. All right, on the typical Rider-Waite, it shows court someone of a higher stature. All right, he's in a garden full of pentacles. I think there's like a bird on him, and then there's a snail right next to him. It's the kind of thing, it feels as if it's come upon very slowly, but we are currently in that energy. All right. And I feel as if it's because we gave birth to, you know, I'm telling you, it's like, we got Six of Swords, we got the Queen of Swords. It's like by giving birth to this new kind, by giving birth to our truth, to to ultimately give birth to exactly what will make us happy. We've been able to allow ourselves to accept the prosperity that's rightfully ours. All right, I'm telling you, this week all started with the decision we just made. All right, this decision we made is ultimately catapulting us to that version of ourselves that we've always hoped we would be. That version of ourselves where we always wish we had specific things. All right. Spirit is saying you made this decision, and this decision is ultimately the right decision. Whatever decision you made, the Ace of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles takes action based upon what he knows will bring him that prosperity. What will bring him this Ace of Pentacles. With the Nine of Pentacles, this is a confirmation saying, once again, we made the right decision. The strength that it took for us to make this decision, all right, is the kind of strength that we found deep within inside ourselves throughout the struggle that we call our lives. Really, within the past, I would say, like, I don't know, like what there was a cycle. I mean, the sun being in Taurus forever. Well, it's in Taurus now, it's Taurus season, but it's a kind of situation. Uranus was in Taurus. Uranus was in Taurus for a very, very, very long time. I think it was 7 years. All right. What makes it so special? Right now, Uranus is in Gemini. Okay. Gemini is the intellectual thinker, the ultimate, going with the flow kind of energy. It's a kind of situation right now. I mean, like Uranus, if you're an Aquarius, all right, if you're Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo, this is going to be the time of our lives. For the mutable signs, you'll feel this absolutely 100%, this energy. But for the fixed signs, we are going to feel this the strongest, all right? With the strength card is all about having found that inner strength on the journey and actually owning that inner strength. All right. I love this strength card because it shows she's half woman, half lioness. Like it's a kind of situation within that woman lies that lioness. All right, ready to take on the world. All right, with the Six of Cups is that feeling of nostalgia. It's like I feel as if, like, with all of this being said, with all of this movement and all of this truth and all of this prosperity coming forward, we're feeling like ourselves again. It's like all of a sudden we're feeling nostalgic before we ultimately felt like we were like victims, before we ultimately went ahead and were being lied to. My friends, like it's the kind of situation, the Six of Wands is celebration. All right. This Two of Swords, this decision that we made with the Two of Wands was to ultimately stay in the mentality of that Eight of Swords and Seven of Swords, or to ultimately turn our backs on it and choose the Two of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Strength card, the Six of Cups. Like, this is the decision we made. We stepped out of that feeling of like victim mentality, thinking the entire world is screwing us over. We finally woke up and realized that the only ones that have been screwing ourselves over have been ourselves because we underestimated our strength. Now that this flower moon ultimately happened, and now that it's May, April showers, May flowers, it's the kind of situation, this growth is the kind of growth that we've been waiting for. I'm telling you, subconsciously, consciously, whatever the case may be. All right. This is the kind of energy where you are not feeling like your old self. This is a brand new version of you. This is an empowering version of you. In this empowerment, my friends, comes so much excitement. The Queen of Wands gives birth to so much activity. All right, you're gonna see amazing energy, like almost kind of like a domino kind of effect. Energy that's like, something great, along with something else that's great, along with something else that's great, along with something else. It's like a domino effect. All of a sudden, you're gonna be seeing that you gave birth to a kind of you that can just just light up a dark room. Like my friends with the Knight of Cups along with the King of Cups, all right? This could be saying that there is somebody that's coming into your life courting that full cup of emotional fulfillment, and that knight is going to be your king. All right. So ultimately, with all of this being said, with this change in perspective, this change in mentality, this change in the way that we're looking at our lives, if you're single, somebody is walking into your life, and that energy is the kind of energy that will bring you just the kind of love you've been searching for. If you've been looking for maybe a new kind of creative kind of energy, right? Maybe you're a songwriter. Maybe all of a sudden, you broke that glass ceiling, and all of a sudden you're like, you're ultimately, bringing on all of this creative, beautiful, beautiful energy. It's a kind of situation no one understands that this is when This is when the energy begins. With this emotional fulfillment, my friends, you are going to feel so inspired. You are going to feel as if you're in control, 100% control over your world. All right. It all started when we made the decision to put our best foot forward. It all started when we allowed ourselves to ultimately step out of the nay and step into the yay. It all started when we ultimately took our energy seriously. We took our energy seriously and we truly allowed ourselves to cause that wave of movement because deep down, we've always been ready for this movement. We've just been afraid to take this giant step forward. Why? Because ultimately, when we're in an energy of comfort, we're comfortable. Why would we want to move? But I feel as if we finally realized we have no choice. We have to put our best foot forward. We have been hurt. We have been lied to. We have hurt ourselves and lied to ourselves. And we got comfortable in that energy, saying, it is what it is. No, we understood loud and clear, really starting this week. I feel as if today, once again, we made a decision to step out of that energy and we allowed ourselves to truly create this wave. And this wave is bringing on nothing but prosperity, is bringing on nothing but truth, is bringing on nothing but nostalgia, feeling like your old self again. This wave is ultimately full of nothing but light and the ability to rise above and break through a glass ceiling. Like this energy is the rest of our lives. We stepped into we stepped into that happily ever after, I think. Really, I do. With the Five of Wands along with the Page of Cups. All right. That there is saying we have been so competitive with ourselves. Like it's like, it's always been a like, like I gotta get this done. If I don't get this done, like it's gonna be the worst thing ever. Like, oh my God. Like the feeling of constantly being in competition with yourself. I feel as if with this Page of Cups, we've given birth to a new heart. We've given birth to a new person, a new 2.0 version of yourself where you're not beating yourself up over the head because you couldn't get the shelves dusted yesterday. Like shit happens. Just because you couldn't vacuum the carpet yesterday doesn't mean you can't vacuum it today. It's the kind of situation overall. We are not being hard on ourselves because we understand that we have this one life to live and we're not going to live it for anybody else but ourselves. And the best version of ourselves is the version when we can just step out of our front door, breathe that fresh air, and smile excited to bring on the world, right? There's a difference of feeling, like defeated and feeling energized. This is that version of us where ultimately we're going to be saying hi to all the neighbors. We're going to be at the mall and we're going to say thank you to the cashier and then say, how are you doing to the person in back of you? I like your dress. I like your suit, whatever the case may be. This isn't that version of you where you have your head down, here you go, here's the money, and you're walking away. Like, this is a complete new version of yourself. And it's in that version of yourself that you're answering your prayers. Your prayers are being answered. All right. This week is going to be a week where you're going to be seeing a brand new version of you, and you're going to be bringing on the most beautiful, 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 beautiful wave of blessings. I'm telling you, like all of May, you're going to see a lot of beautiful energy coming forward. Small little pieces of energy, some massive pieces of energy. All right, we got the Three of Pentacles, the Hermit, a new perspective in regards to the kind of company we need to keep, right? The Eight of Wands, it's ultimately a shot of good, kinetic, fast moving energy where you're bringing on nothing but the utmost clarity in regards to what will make you happy. All right, that Knight of Swords is very fast movement, and there's the Lovers. All right, and there's the Three of Cups. This has to do with our relationships, platonic or romantic. This has to do with just our relationships we have with ourselves. Like, I can't stress it enough, my friends. This is a massive turning point. This is a massive turning point this week. All right. So get ready for this energy. I feel as if we're already ready for this energy. It all started today. Subconsciously, consciously, whatever the case may be, you made a decision or you're just about to make a decision that's going to ultimately put you in a trajectory of kind of version of yourself that you would never thought would be, you know? So no one understand that this is what self-empowerment looks like. This is what we've been searching for. The warrior, the beautiful person that we are. This is the version of ourselves we've been fighting for. So give yourselves a pat on the back because it has not been an easy journey. It's been a tough journey. It really has. But it's in that tough journey that we discovered the warrior that we are. It's in that journey where we discovered our power. And it's in that power that we're making our prayers come true. Okay? Wishes are coming true, my friends. Let's see what's coming forward. Tell you, it's when you get in this energy that the universe sees you're ready for all the beautiful things. And this is when it starts to ultimately come forward because you're matching the universe's energy. Expect to see a lot of awesome things, okay? All right, forgiveness. All right, I feel as if this is us forgiving ourselves. This is us possibly forgiving those that we need to forgive. All right, to let go of the pride and to ultimately forgive them so we can move forward with a clean slate. This is like beginners. This is like, this is all about, like a beginner kind of mindset. It's like we're not used to saying you're forgiven. You know, a lot of us, we're comfortable in holding grudges, and it's because people have hurt us. People have deeply hurt us. But I feel as if in this energy, we're really starting to get creative. It's like these projects that we're taking in, they're grudges don't belong in these creative projects. When you hold a grudge, when you're angry, it not just does damage to the others, but it does damage to yourself because you're harboring that kind of like, like that kind of energy that will just have you just feel low. All right. It's a kind of situation, but we're finally starting to understand the strength in forgiveness and saying, you know what? Yeah, you did me wrong. And yes, the past is the past. And that's where it will stay, but you do not need to be a part of my future. There's a difference between forgiving and allowing them to come back into your life, or forgiving them, setting them free so you can move on with the rest of your life. And it's the kind of situation that has to do with the absolute truth and the self-respect that we found for ourselves. Like, that's why I say we are not the same people we once were. Our outlook in regards to our relationships, our outlook in regards to ourselves, our outlook in regards to our past. Sometimes the worst things that can ever happen can turn out to be the greatest things to happen to you. Sometimes tower moments need to happen so you can set yourself free, you know? And just like the phoenix ultimately burns into ashes and a new phoenix rises, right? So it's the kind of situation I feel as if there is just a disruption. All right. There is just a disruption in your world where ultimately you ask for something and you're receiving it. All right. When that disruption is that Two of Swords and that Two of Wands moment, all of a sudden we're finding ourselves at a crossroads and we're like, all right, I don't know what decision I need to do. I don't know what I need to do. I have no idea. But you know what? I'm going to trust my intuition and I'm going to trust the love that I have for myself that I will make the right decision. And by making that decision, that catapulted and disrupted your world to bring on nourishment and abundance. You know, when you allowed yourself to truly focus on what really remains true for you, I feel as if, yeah, see, focus on the truth. It's like we focused on the truth in regards to what exactly was causing those burdens, what exactly was causing that energy where we were just feeding the wounded human ego. It's just the kind of situation over. I feel as if like we're really looking at our history right now. This entire burden and like goblin with like the I love this goblin card. He's just sticking his tongue out like bleh. Yeah, it's so cute. It's the kind of like situation I feel as if like we're looking at our past and it's like poetry now, I feel as if it's just like poetry, the bard, the enchantment of storytelling, right? I have quite the story. A lot of the burdens that I had on my shoulders for such a long time turns out setting me free, and it's the kind of situation I feel as if the high priestess, it's like we have this spiritual awakening that we've had, my friends, that has ultimately been happening over the past, like, since honestly February. I feel as if it's a kind of situation like we ultimately, like it's like a new kind of vision. This spirituality we found within ourselves, my friends, was that gasoline to get the engine going. It really was. By ultimately forgiving and, focusing on the truth in regards to what was burdening us, like overall, it disrupted our realities and ultimately we realized our absolute truth. Like we realized the self-respect that we ultimately are carrying for ourselves has brought on abundance. It's like all of a sudden, like I feel as if that anger and retaliation ultimately came to an end. It really did. It just came to an end. And truth and trust. All right. I mean, it's getting repetitive now. It's spirit, the eagle, connection to the angelic realm. It's in our spirituality, my friends, that we ultimately found the faith to really make those calls for ourselves, and this brought on so much alchemy and balance, right? We've been looking for balance. All of this is bringing in so much balance. It's a birth and rebirth. By letting go, we're bringing in justice again and movement and beauty and magic. Like just know this week is really going to be an amazing week. It's going to be a phenomenally beautiful, amazing week because when you let go of the energy that holds you down, you just lift yourself higher. It's almost kind of like, a balloon, right? Balloons, they're tied to like a hacky sack, and the balloons are ultimately, stay to the ground. We untie those balloons, and those balloons are set free. It's like we're setting ourselves free, my friends. All right. And it's in this freedom that you're going to be seeing so much movement. It's in this forgiveness that you're ultimately, showing people where you're setting yourself free from the just anger. Life is too short. Life is too short to live your life in anger. Like it's the kind of situation like this is our moment. This is really our moment to ultimately, like whoever you feel as if wronged you, say I forgive you, but you have no room in my circle anymore, so I'm setting you free. All right, good luck. And it's your time to move on with your life. I'm picking this up and summoning power, intellect, instinct, control, spirit. Let's see what we got here from Priestess of the Light deck. And then I'll go ahead and I will pull affirmation. And then my friends, that is going to be the that's going to be the reading for the week. All right. I'm telling you, like, I feel as if like a weight is being lifted for the collective. Really, really. I see a weight being lifted. I see us being able to breathe easier. I see us being just like being able to just like truly 100% like just be proud of ourselves. Like really, really. And I feel as if this power, we've been proud of ourselves before, yes, but this is the kind of power that is just uncomparable to anything. Really. This is that 2.0 version of yourself. And it's been present in our lives for quite some time, but we're not going to truly feel it truly until this week. All right. Which is why the perfect crystal to work with is pyrite. If you have pyrite, pyrite is the crystal of prosperity. All right. Pyrite is fool's gold, but if you work with pyrite, you'll be bringing on a lot of grounding energy that will bring on prosperity. Like it's all about surrounding yourself with the energy that you're looking to receive, right? And that is a very powerful crystal. So let's see here. Secret action, focus, there's focus again, and abundance. Taking action on exactly what will give us abundance. I'm hearing let it go, let it go. I'm hearing frozen. So, setting boundaries. Set setting boundaries, honoring those boundaries, you know, protecting ourselves with those boundaries. All right. Boundaries are so important. They really are. Like they really are. It's the kind of situation by setting boundaries, that's where you ultimately say, all right, I can't cross this line. This is my lane. That's yours. You stay in your lane. I'm going to stay in my lane, right? It's all about ultimately setting those boundaries and saying, thou shall not pass, Um, hidden knowledge, a silent understanding, Akashic records. I feel as if like all of a sudden, like you're like a lot of us are just going to be seeing like these visions. I don't know. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. I feel as if there's definitely going to be messages through your dreams, okay? Or numbers. If you see repetitive numbers, look them up. All right, there's always messages in numbers. All right. I cannot tell you the amount of times I keep on seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 forever. That's the number that follows me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen 11, 11, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. Like like you'll never you won't realize it. You really wouldn't realize it until you realize it. All right. And when you see those repetitive numbers, all right, like let's say it's 11, 11, right? And your phone is at 92%, right? 9 plus 2 is 11. There are all those 11s, right? Like there's all those ones. Like there's truth in numbers, really. Strength, fearlessness, and family. Fierceness, courage. All right. I'm telling you, it's like, all of a sudden, like these like intuitive downloads are ultimately going to happen. And I feel as if like ultimately those are Akashic records. That is energy coming in from a past life. All right, of yours. But by setting these boundaries and allowing yourself to remain open to the universe's downloads, all right, you're going to be bringing on so much strength, so much fierceness. I can't tell you. I can't even tell you. This is healing the heart, the power of self love. All right. That's saying, how can you love anybody unless you truly love yourself? You know, I feel as if we're letting go of that, healing the heart from loss and lack, from fear and victimization, right? Like I'm telling you, it's like we're healing we're healing the power of self love, and innovation is happening. New creations. I'm telling you, when you're in this energy of self love, all of this new energy comes forward. All right. This is our shamanic journey. All right. This is a vision quest. We are seeing our purpose. It's like we are being attuned to the universe where we're letting go and we're really looking at the conflict and unrest in our lives and seeing that there is a purpose to that conflict and unrest. Seeing that the past ultimately, the past is the past. History is called history for a reason. I mean, I will say, back in school, I was tormented. I was picked on being called gay, even though I wasn't out of the closet then. And I look back to those years of being bullied and tormented, and I look back at it, it was the worst thing in the world back then, but I wouldn't be who I am today without having survived what bullying is, right? It's the kind of situation we all have a past. All right. And we're finally starting to see that there was a purpose to that past. We're starting to see our hearts heal from the loss and lack, and create new energy by setting boundaries, by setting healthy boundaries. You know, yeah, see duality. There's many meanings, and awakening consciousness and the infinite minds. Okay, I feel as if this awakening consciousness and this infinite mind, this portal, has to do with the Akashic records. Okay, so if you don't know what the Akashic records are, all right, they are a record. It's like a giant file, like a giant filing cabinet of every single life your soul has ever been through, each life. All of a sudden you're gonna have dreams of maybe like the colonial era, maybe maybe all of a sudden you're gonna like have a dream of maybe being like, I don't know, like 200 years in the future. I really don't know. Like, I mean, your visions are your visions, but it's the kind of situation no one understand that these Akashic records are ultimately there to access for any of us anytime you want to. The question is how do we do it? All right, we all do it by listening to our intuition, by trusting ourselves, right? Yeah, clairvoyance. All right, trust. I just said trusting ourselves, right? Clairvoyance, trust, interpretation, inspiration. Okay? Twin flames. All right, a big part of this journey, my friends, has to do with a twin flame kind of connection, an eternal connection, that soul partner. You know, I feel as if when it comes down to it, like a lot of us, we all have our twin flames, and twin flame connections are not easy. They're not easy. They are really, really, really tough. But it's the kind of situation. I feel as if right now we're really starting to look at our connections and see if they're truly meant to be. We're really looking at our connections deep in the eyes and saying, "Wow, that's my person. That's my best friend. That's my partner." That's whatever the case may be. It's like we're really looking at all of our connections and we're seeing a soul partner in them, And I feel as if that's such a beautiful thing because souls follow each other through lives, right? It's a kind of situation, harvest. All right. This is when you're going to gather those blessings this week, touching earth. All right. New creations, planting something new. All right. There is something new coming forward where it's nothing but a river of blessings. All right. We're releasing those constraints and ultimately we're being surrounded by so many blessings. All right. Harvest, gathering of blessings, river of blessings. There's two cards pretty much right next to each other with blessings. All right. No one understand this week is going to be full of nothing but blessings and new growth and new creations and soul partners and just like the ability to really live in your honor, live in your power, live in your strength to live the life that you are meant to live. The life that will make you happy. This is when we choose ourselves. And when we choose ourselves and when we choose what makes us happy, that's what will give us wings. That's what abundance looks like, you know? So overall, no one understands. This is going to be an amazingly beautiful week. It's going to be an amazing, beautiful week because we understand the importance to truly be there for ourselves, to truly answer our own prayers, to not have to rely on anybody else to open the door for us because we can open the door for ourselves. Like it's a kind of energy where this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. All right. Like really, this is the kind of energy that would really give us wings because we're not thinking about only others. We are prioritizing. Remember that word priority? Prioritizing, that word kept on coming up over and over and over again. We're prioritizing ourselves. All right. And that is so powerful. Let's see what we got here. Give us an affirmation, Spirit. In my heart, I know that good things are coming my way. I make a positive difference in the world, even with my smile and words. Okay? And one more time. I listen to the intuitive wisdom of my own feelings. I am guided from within. Okay? So that is that collective reading, my friends. Overall, it is absolutely beautiful. Tomorrow, I'm going to be featured on the Dreamweavers podcast. All right. I'm going to be pulling cards for the Weavers podcast. I'll go ahead and I'll post that YouTube link. All right, join. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. We have Deanna and we have Ronnie, two of the hosts, and we'll go ahead and we'll have a conversation and we'll have fun. So join. That is going to be at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll post the link through Facebook, and I hope to see you all there. All right. So I'll see everyone come a week from now. Remember, Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to ultimately live in your power. Do not question your power because you, my friends, are meant to shine. All right. And never forget that. All right. I'll see everyone next week.